Look so I can see comments. Hang on. Mhm. Takes it sometimes. There we go. Um, turn the sound down. But so I'm set up through Restream right now, which doesn't always show me the chat. So I want to make sure I can see those things. So we will see. We'll see. Okay. Well, welcome. So I'm just going to jump right into this. I know only a couple people are on right now, but please say hi. Oh, I see Barb. Hi, Barb. So I'm really excited about what I'm going to share with you all today. If you were at Warrior Unchained, I planted a little seed, I didn't even know it, for this because I've had this idea for a little while and I just didn't know like when was the jumping off point. When should I like, boy, this is it because it makes it really real when you announce it and you put it out in the universe. Hi, Karen. So when you put it out in the universe, it makes it really real, but it is real because this is happening in March 2024. So there's a reason why there's a big lead time to this. So just going to jump in and talk about when you are in business, when you are starting maybe a new health program, when you're doing different, trying to create a new, um, thanks for the hearts, a new chapter, something different in your life, right? There is one common denominator that people always ask you is, hi Trina, what is your why? Your why is important because it keeps you going. Hi Mandy. Oh, I'm on. So we're talking about your why. So why, what's your why? Do you want to leave a legacy? Is it to, look better, feel better, be more healthy? Whatever it is, whenever you're going through some sort of a change, you're trying to create new habits, knowing your why is very important. Something that's even more important than that is your when. So your when moment is when everything changed. When was the moment that you made that big decision? When was the moment that you had a big transformation? When was the moment that your life pivoted and became and just set you on a whole different course? Those moments I think are even more important than your why because it helps you kind of, seed why you're doing what you're doing and why you have a why. It's those when moments. And a lot of us have gone through we've gone through traumas, challenges, life experiences that most times are less than pleasant. But if you're able to get through those moments, it leads to something bigger and better. And usually it's looking back, right? 2020 vision on things is when we can say, okay, that thing was really hard to get through, but now I can kind of see why. And you might say things like, I wouldn't be where I am now if that thing hadn't happened. I wouldn't have recognized this if that hadn't happened. I wouldn't have live in the place that my soulmate or whatever that looks like without that moment in time, those when moments. And hi, Lisa. Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining. I'm trying to kind of watch comments because they're different on Restream and then this. So, hi, Kelly. Um, so again, if you were at Warrior about a bit about those when moments, and if you don't know who I am, obviously I'm Wendy Babcock. I'm an international and TEDx speaker, author, and I am the paid stage coach. So I teach people how to get on stages and get paid. But what's interesting is, because of what I do, and I'm on social media, obviously. So the chapter I just wrote in my book is called Moments. Oh my God. So that is serendipitous, I would call it, Lisa. I love that because they're moments. We have all of these moments that lead up to what I would call your when story. So it's the story we tell people about how we went from point A. The when story has a before and it has an after. Because you can look back on your life and you can see a clear when, like all these moments, maybe it creates this when story when you're like, I was a different person before that happened and I'm a different person now. So that's a when story. We have when moment time, but the when story, that's the big event. That's the big part where everything changed. Because with when stories, When everything changed, transformation emerges. That's what it's about. So before I tell you exactly what this is, I do have a very short video. I'm going to give you a little hint of what's happening. Before I do that, though, real quick, as I'm training people to get on stage and speak and get paid to speak, what I was going to say is, like, on Facebook, whenever I post like my ads, things that I'm promoting, like I've got a masterclass on Monday, all of a sudden I see a lot more. And I noticed back in, I would say, August, there was a reoccurring comment I kept saying on all these. People were saying, I have this incredible story I need to share. The problem is there wasn't a place for them. It wasn't something on a paid stage. It wasn't someone who was an entrepreneur, speak for free and give programs and products, and sell from the stage. There was somebody who just had something really inspirational and life-changing that happened to them. So where do they go? So I want to play you this real quick. Oh, hang on. So there it is. So, When Stories. This is going to be a branded stage. I want you to think TEDx. So TEDx is about ideas worth sharing. The When stage is about stories worth inspiring, stories worth sharing. This is a place where people can come and tell that transformational moment so you can inspire and motivate others. It's that pivotal moment in time where you're like, man, if I would have had somebody when I went through this who could have kind of shown me that there was kind of a light at the end of the tunnel, if there was a stage for that. So here's what this is. Here's what I've created. I thought about this a lot. I'm like, how could I create this branded stage for people to come on and tell their story? Because usually they're not speakers. There's with great stories, but a lot of what I was seeing were people who have never stepped foot on the stage before. And so, of course, training is needed. So it's an application process, just like a TEDx. You have to be, accepted. So what I'm looking for, people who have incredible stories, but not only to basically get on stage and trauma dump, right? So I'm looking for people who have done the work, who have done the therapy, who have gotten past that moment in time, right? That when story, where you're in the after part of your story. So I'm looking for people who have those incredible stories to share, where you can talk about what changed, and then give some takeaways. Here's how I went from point A to point B. So you can inspire people who might be going through the same thing that you went through back when that happened. So there's an application process. I'll put the link up here for a second, but it's more than I'm not a nonprofit. I'm not TEDx stage, so obviously there's a cost involved. So because there's training, so it's a 6-week training. We meet 2 hours once a week leading up to the live event. It's live. You are on a real stage, real cameras, real microphones, everything. It's a full. So you get on stage just like a TEDx. You get on stage in person. It'll be in the Milwaukee area. Locations to be decided yet. I've got a few options right now, but you'll come in person. And presentations will be between 15 and 20 minutes. You get a little bit more time than like a TEDx because we're telling our stories. And so you'll get the 6-week training. You'll come in person. You'll give a real live presentation on a real big stage, lights, cameras, the whole works. It'll be uploaded, approved talks. Of course, they'll have to be approved afterwards. We'll go on to a dedicated Wednesday Stories YouTube page, which I've already. But also the other bonus is because this isn't like TEDx, it's not a nonprofit. You also get the video yourself. So besides it being on YouTube, you're going to get the video so you can use it for whatever you want. If you want to pick it apart and use it, if you are a speaker and want to put it in your speaker reel, you get to use. I mean, that alone is a huge value. If you were going to go and like just record yourself on a stage, that would cost quite a bit. So here's the deal. I'm going to put the application thing up here if you feel like you want to apply. The training, the 6-week training, will start probably around February 7th. I have a date yet in March because I have to make sure I get the location and get those dates figured out. Only 15 people will do these because that's as much room I have in a day to record all of these. So be limited to 15 people. And the other cool part is the first 4 of these events, those who are accepted for this stage, a pioneer. So it'll be branded just slightly different because you're going to be the first ones that are pioneering this new branded stage. You know, if you think about, when you think about TEDx, you think about, you know, the red dot, the TEDx letters. So we're going to have something similar, probably WEN letters. Yes, the training is virtual. This is just basically for someone who needs to know how to put their talk together. So it's a way to, again, not trauma dump. We want to tell our story, right? You want to emotionally bring people into your story, but then how do you make that transformation into and walk them through and then have this ending that goosebumps and just it's so impactful and inspiring. So I'm going to walk you through how to build your talk. And I know not everyone will be able to make every single one. That's why it's 6 weeks. Okay, and they'll be recorded. You'll get the recordings. And what else am I missing? 6 weeks training. You'll get the recordings. We'll practice before, and then when the actual date comes, we'll meet in person. And like I said, there's actually 2 stages that I'm looking at right now. It looks like I'll be partnering with John Taylor. He's an incredible videographer. He does all kinds of productions, and he's in the Milwaukee area. He's done actually one of my speaker reels. So you get the full production of your talk, you know. And so I'm really hoping that this becomes as big as TEDx because I think people have stories out there that need to be told. They're inspiring. And I know that when I was going through some tough times, you know, just watching videos or even if you're somebody who, what do? You watch the before and after stories because it helps motivate you and keeps you inspired. So WEN Stories, it'll be a branded stage. So I'm not sure what that'll look like, but you can kind of see the colors. It's so if you look at the branding, if you could see that, the branding is basically like water because the idea is it's like that was your kind of before, and then your after is when you emerged, right? So that's why I kind of went with that branding with kind of that water, and then so it's men and women too. So I didn't want to go with my traditional pink because this is for men and women to tell their stories. You get, you know, hands-on training at the event. You'll come in person to the Milwaukee area. You'll give your talk. If your talk's approved, it will go to the YouTube page. And when I say approved, it's not like there's going to be some strenuous thing. It's just because you know, with my experience, because I've done a TEDx, I know that TEDx makes sure, like if you use any sort of search, they make sure that it's legit. And we want to make sure we're putting up really good videos on that YouTube page. So there's going to be a level of professionalism, a level of expectation of what these talks should be. And then also, like, I'm just thinking about people who are going to think they don't need to come to any of the. If you're a professional speaker, if you're a professional speaker and you're like, no, I can write my own talk, that's fine. You don't have to come to the training, but then you just have to know that once you take that stage, you're still going to get your video, but it may or may not be approved for the YouTube channel. So that's just, there's going to be kind of a format. There's going to be things that are, you know, there's expectations, you know, around what you can and can't say on stage. So, you know, and so that'll be all carved out. It'll be, if you're accepted, you know, it'll be in a contract that you'll sign. So here's the process. To apply to be on the WEN, go to wenstories.com. There's an application that's a jot form. You'll fill that out. I'll be going through all of those, and I'm probably going to what's the word? Not employ, but bring a couple other people on to look at them as well. So it's not just me, largest yet, but I'll be looking into that. So I need people who are going to maybe to help and have kind of backup with this. If your application is selected, you'll then do a 15-minute or less video interview, just so we can get a feel. It might be myself, and somebody else. Actually, I don't know what that's going to look like, but you'll do a quick interview so we can get a better grasp on who you are, what your story is, if it's going to be a good fit. And then if you're accepted from there, you'll get the contract and then the invoice. So the payment will have to be in before training starts February. Cost of this. Now, if you've spoke before, you kind of know, you're probably in your head thinking, oh God, what's this going to cost? It's a live presentation. It's recorded. I get the video. There's 6 weeks of training. Here's the thing, because I'm just starting this and I'm just launching it, obviously there's going to be a big discount for anyone who gets through on this first round, the first 15 people. So what I'm looking at this round is going to be $997. That's, to me, is huge. I mean, I don't know what's going to run in the future, but for this first, the pioneer groups, the very first event will be $997. So, and that would have to be paid in full by first training. So that's my big announcement. I'm so excited to have my own branded stage so that I can help people share their when moments and their when stories and get on the stages and share those pivotal moments that can truly impact and change other people's lives about this. So I'm going to ask you a couple favors. One, I'm going to share the Facebook page. Should I share it here? No, I'm going to share it from my Facebook when we get done with this. I'm going to share the Facebook page if we go on like that, because videos will also be posted on the Facebook page and the YouTube. I'm going to ask everyone if they can to subscribe to the YouTube page so we can, this way when the first videos come out, we have some subscribers that will automatically see the videos. So I am so excited. Like, I've been wanting to announce this, but I think there was a little bit of fear holding me back with announcing this, because then it makes it concrete. It is concrete. It's going to happen, obviously, but it's a big deal. I mean, I'm trying to start this big branded stage that I want to see just explode and eventually have millions of subscribers and have people who want to share their stories. So yeah, I'm just thrilled that I've made in order to make this truly happen. Because, when I had this idea, I thought, can I really do this? Because if you know me, I'm not great at asking for help. And so I had to think, okay, so who can I reach out to that can help? And I just happened to get a connection request from someone who I'm talking about collaborating with on basically a speaker academy, which was John Taylor. And so as I was sitting there, like, okay, I can use the videographer for Warrior. Like, Luke was awesome. But I know he's really busy. And so I'm like, well, I have to think about this and when I can actually do this. And then it was like within, like, I would say 12 hours, John had reached out to me in an email and said, hey, can we connect? I'm like, oh my God, there it is. If you needed a sign, like, here it is. So we hopped on a call within a couple of days and we talked, and we're going to collaborate on this speaker academy, but also on the When stories. So that's some really great connections too to help me with production. So it's going to be pretty amazing. I'm really excited. Again, it's kind of a big production because obviously it's in person, real stage, real stories, lights, cameras, you name it. So I'm excited about it. I think somewhere deep inside I've been wanting to do this for a long time. Create a place for, obviously I kind of do that at Warrior, where women can come and share their stories. But at Warrior, of course, it's a combination of professional and business development. And usually people that are on my rooms and products and services, where this stage is open for everybody. You don't have to sell anything or have anything. In fact, we don't want you to sell anything. This is just about your story inspiring others. And then again, you get the training. So if you've been thinking about being a speaker, but you don't know where to start and you just want to tell your story, here's your stage. So, well, So that's the big announcement. If anyone has questions, please reach out. Again, the only two things I'm going to ask is that if you can please like the When Stories Facebook page, as well as subscribe to the YouTube channel. So I'll put the kind of the promo video on the YouTube channel shortly. So you can go out there, maybe like that, and then share it with your friends. So as I leave out of here, I'm going to play that video one more time. Thank you all for joining, and I hope you apply for the one to be considered to speak on the One Story stage. Bye, everyone.